Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from group 3 and we will present about the mob mentality in Indonesia. My name is Putri Naisha, and first of all we need to understand what is mob mentality on this case. So this event illustrates how an individual rationally tends to imitate the behavior of the surrounding environment, which have a strong effect on eliminating certain perspective and homogenizing them in the majority version of the system. So mob mentality refers to the unique behavioral characteristics that arise when people are in large group. This term is often used in a negative sense because the terms mob or gang usually give the impression of a chaotic and aggressive group of people. Social psychologists who study group behavior also use other terms such as herd behavior or herd mentality and crowd hysteria to describe similar behaviors. The science of gang mentality is used to analyze situations that range from problems during an evacuation to the assembly of audiences which leads to violence. On November 14, it turns out to coincide with Heroes' Day, and inevitably this arrival was greeted like a hero. This was proven by the presence of thousands of people who came to Soekarno-Hatta Airport to welcome him, and the masses dressed in predominantly white have arrived since evening so they could be at the forefront of welcoming of Habib Rizik's arrival. The period of filling Suta Airport is after dawn, and unexpectedly the court jammed the streets of Suta Airport, and they also damaged several airport facilities.
Why did Habib Rizik's arrival bring so many people? Habib Rizik is one of the religious figures who always calls for the progress of Muslims in Indonesia. And because Muslims are the majority, many of them support Habib Rizik. So they consider Habib Rizik as a figure who capable of voicing and defending Muslims in Indonesia. That's why many supporters came to the airport because they believe in Habib Rizik's struggle, even though he often caused polemics and controversies. Next, damages suffered by Soekarno-Hatta Airport, where the Habib Rizik came. Not only crippling the flight, Habib Rizik's welcome also damaged several public facilities at Soekarno-Hatta Airport. The majority of the supporters of Habib Rizik who got a place far from the Terminal 3 chose to find a high spot and climb it to see and greet Habib Rizik. Also, thousands of sympathizers who pushed each other when welcoming him left much damages on many waiting chairs. Not only being upside down, the chair's legs were also broken. Other facilities damaged are trampled ornamental plants, which were trampled by the sympathizer, and the gypsums covering the SIM card outlet, which was currently under renovation around the Terminal 3 area, Soekarno-Hatta Airport. As you can see, these are the photos of the damage that occurred at Soekarno-Hatta Airport. The first one, those are chairs that broken because they were used by the sympathizers to stand to swim. They stand on it, and this is the ornamental plants outside the airport trampled by them, the sympathizers. And last, this is the gypsum covers that had crumbled as if it had been shaken by an earthquake. Without much to say, the Soekarno-Hatta Airport repaired the damage. Facilities such as waiting chairs, gypsum covers, and the ornamental plants right away. The airport said that within 1 hour they could be repaired and the seats could be used again and the airport runs as usual.
After receiving that much damage, did the airport demand compensation? Persaudaraan Alumni, or PA, claimed to have sent a team to meet and coordinate with the airport. They offered to compensate for the damage that were caused. However, the airport refused and said that the damage was insignificant, so that the problem is considered finished. From the above incident, it can be seen that the airport just gave up. However, if we look at it from the business perspective, the damage that we suffer is quite detrimental. Even though they can demand compensation, they didn't. Either way, because he was their sincerity, because Habib Rizik is a religious leader, or there were certain reason they did not demand a compensation. Islam here is used as a reason for Habib Rizik sympathizer to take a stand. And because the masses that were gathered there causing some damage, but let's see the problem. The problem is because the Islams were such a majority that the airport didn't want to dare to risk to blame them because they were afraid of the retaliation. The sympathizer must have realized what they are doing is violating the protocol because we are in a pandemic where we have socialization and social distancing and so on. But because there are many people that were doing the same thing, essentially violating the protocol, and in the name of religion even, they thought that it was fine to do it because there are so many people, like we said ago, mob mentality. As a solution, it turns out that mob mentality can make it happen. Those who are influential enough can influence others to not do this or not do that, or so on. In this case, for example, Habib Rizik himself forbade his sympathizer from gathering. Surely they would easily obey. But back to mob mentality, if there are some that were not following what he said, what will make it be? it will invite more people not not following it too, because there are more people that were not following it. It will be more that gather and not following it. Because of that, we need to be careful with mob mentality, because we can be swept away, especially at because it was such a at the moment thing.
Okay, so that was our presentation. If you want to add some information or you want to ask something, you can ask to us. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.